Alright guys, welcome back. So if you watch the replay video, you can see some pretty epic gameplay because Sauravis shines against the tournament traps and against the Jester, against impermanence. It's just insane what it can do for you, and it makes your converter lines even better because the only vulnerability part of that line is that you lose to impermanence. Like you can dodge the Ash because you chain block, you chain one speeder, chain two converter, and then you only lose to impermanence there. And Sauravis just takes care of that. And the fact that you have the triple Sauravis, mid-breaker, and cold buy, you know, you're going to see that card variation quite often. And of course, you got the level 1s. I just completely went full on, like, committed on the level 1s because I just loved opening up this and Jester. I was like, well, there's other little Jesters similar to him. Like, why not just maximize on that? But yeah, and that's the whole theory behind this build, and it's pretty insane. But before that, I need to cut a promo real quick, so go ahead and check that out.
I'm super excited for these t-shirts. They look soft, they look snug, the designs are awesome. They have a great deal going on right now, 3 for $60. If you want to keep it simple, go for the basic t-shirts, 3 for $49.95, and get an additional 10% off if you use my promo code. Link in the description.
I'm a huge fan of these t-shirts. These are so awesome. They're not too thick, they're not too thin. They're just baggy enough, tight enough, and they're snug on all the right areas. And they're just perfect. I love these t-shirts. But yeah, just follow the link in the description or in the pinned comments. They just feel like really nice. They're like not too baggy. Like, they're like snug in the right places. This is the large. And it feel like I was almost gonna get a medium, but I'm glad I got a large. Like I think the medium would have been a bit like kind of tight, and this is just like this, right? But anyway, let's get straight into deck profile. Okay, so triple stardust Synchron. This should not change anytime soon. Junk Synchron. There's not much to say. He's just the best Synchrons that we have at the moment. Then of course you have your triple doppel warrior, and then you have your triple drug converter. These cards are insane, like paired with overtake, and then paired with this as well. But yeah, these are just help you play around Ash when you typically couldn't. And this card baits Ash, and the revive the tuner effect when it's synchro summoned with is it's so good. It's so good. And then of course the little guys. So like I mentioned, opening up him with Jester, I was really a big fan of that. So I just optimized on that aspect of this particular line because it gives you a bit more versatility rather than the junk summon. Because the moment you summon junk, right? If they interact with you with like a crow or imperm, right? Then you're gonna need to have like a Caligo to play past that, right? Whereas if you normal summon him, you search Illumination, so already you're gonna have another line of play that allows you to progress, because you go summon this, add Illumination, special either any of this, because they're all live the moment you summon them. You go speeder, they solve speeder, okay, it's fine. You go Illumination, send trail, tribute speeder, or you can tribute one of these guys, because you're gonna be able to special summon these. Special summon this, tribute one of these guys, trigger the trail, trigger doppel if you haven't triggered doppel, and then try to do the Excel line. Whereas junk is a bit more linear in that sense, because it doesn't give you that. You need to have other cards, whereas this generates you resources just by simply summoning it, which is what I liked. So that's the whole logic behind just maximizing on this, because you want to open up this and this. And yeah, it seemed to work quite well. And this card has a little niche effect that for those of you that don't know what this does, it's turbo booster. If you have normal summon the monster this turn, you can special summon this card from your hand. So all you gotta do is fulfill a normal summon. You can summon as many of these as you want. You can tribute this card to destroy one monster your opponent controls that battled one of your monsters this turn. It's a niche effect, but it does come up. Unfortunately, I couldn't get one in the replays. I did in the old variant, but I had to scrap those replays because oh my god, I had so many replays done, so many epic comeback, like it was just insane. But I ended up changing the deck, and then it was outdated, so I had to redo the games, and it was just a nightmare. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And his effect to increase the attack of warriors comes up. It comes up. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then it has some synergy with junk synchron as well, because if you have junk in this, like these guys, multiples of these guys, it still gives you the consistency of getting to the chaos ruler, because you summon this special level 1, go into cupid pitch, increase especially the other one, and go into either mega or a chaos ruler. So then you chain 1 cupid, chain 2 excavate, and then you add Calico, you know. And it tries to initiate what Dawnwalker normally does, you know, except you don't have the brick. And then of course you have your 1-ofs, the dreadful 1-ofs that you just don't want to see, but you just have to play them because they're insane. Stardust, Mishlo Memer, Yugioh, Stardust Trail, Caligo, and of course your Jet Synchron. In this build, I'm only playing 1 Caligo because I once again I wanted to maximize on the level 1s, because I felt like this and the level 1s get you more, you know, they get more value. But I don't know, I kind of do miss this guy. I have to think I'm at 3, because like I'm at 42 cards at the moment, and yeah, I don't know, it just feels, I don't assume as much, and I'm like, I have junk, and I'm like, oh, I've really, you know, increased the count. But then you have so many non-tuners that like, oh my god, like you don't want to be drawing this with these guys. So that was the decision there. But like, I don't know, I might increase it to 3 again, but I'm not sure. And then of course this is the new guy. Well, we've messed around with this guy quite often, right? Especially Max, right? Max was playing it at his YCS list. Sauravis, many of you know this by now, pretty sure. It's if your opponent targets one of your cards, one of your monsters, you can discard this card and negate. So it's pretty cool. Just stop Imperm Vader, their tier limit traps, Draco's Apelia, things like that. It's pretty cool. And you can search it off of Herald, which is nice. And then of course you have your tunings and overtakes, right? This consistency, opening up tuning with the level 1s. It just feels so good, man. It just feels so good opening at this and the level 1s. It just feels so nice. Like it, because typically, like before, when level eater was legal, we would love to open up this, because we would put possibly mill level eater, or we open up this and level eater. We're like, oh my god, it's so good. And then, but ever since then, it was like kind of lackluster. But now it's like it feels kind of weird. It's like it just feels nice opening at this and that. I don't know. It just feels really nice. Overtake, one of the best cards, support cards we've gotten in years, man. Just amazing. First, you have your 1-ofs, Rhoda, Foolish, Dragon Shrine, Stars Illumination. This is basically for Distributor Trail. So you have multiple copies of them, because sometimes you want to open Trail, because like sometimes you go specials, the level 1 tribute, trigger Trail, and then go ruler that way, and then you haven't even more summoned yet, so you summon junk, and you know you want that as often. Then of course Reborn, Midbreaker, Called By. This is just to you know. Okay, so two things that, well, a few things you might have noticed by now. There is no Dawnwalker. Okay, in this build, I wanted just to focus on the normal summon of Stardust Synchron with the level 1, and you are starting to realize, whoa, well, you lose if you go second and they do a board. Well, that's kind of the point. I wanted to optimize consistency and ensure that I got to do what I needed to do. Game 1. If I lose game 1, okay, fair enough. Okay, game 2, I'm going first, and I have the deck's consistent enough to resolve and build your board, right? And your side deck will be there to stop Dark Ruler and Mystic Mind, stuff like that, you know? It's fine. And then game 3, that's when you side cards. And you have an idea of what to side, because you're aware of what you're going up against, which is on the replay video. It's very generic, very blanket type of side decking, like evenly matched, Dark Ruler. I'll show you in a bit. But it's a 42. Just try it. I know it seems a bit like, oh, well, if you lose dice roll, you lose. But if you win dice roll, you win, because the deck's so consistent. It's crazy how consistent it is, and you have prevention to back you up. It's just insane. Okay, so here's the side deck. Okay, so you have triple Droplet, triple Dark Ruler, of course your twins. I think these are gonna end up changing to Lightning Storms, because you don't want to be depleting your hand. Like you just don't want to do that. Evenly, and of course and this spell. This is the only thing you're citing whenever you go first, because it stops like the things you lose to, which is Dark Ruler. They can't really droplet you because you'll have Herald, and you just negate the droplets with your Abyss or any other Omnia that you have, which is pretty cool. The extra deck, just insane. Baron, Hot Red, Chaos Ruler. People have been speculating this guy might get banned. I hope not. Crystal Wing, Omega, Yazi, Stardust Charge, Hyper Librarian, Junk Warrior, Junk Speeder. Of course, you have Excel Synchron, and then you have your Herald, your Cupid Pitch, your Martial Meta Marcher, and Celestial Double Charge Shaman. These cards are insane. Like you can summon these guys way more because of the level 1s, and that's you saw that in the replay. It was insane. And then of course you have your I really want to play carry because of this now. Thanks, Sataya. And then of course you have your double tokens, your Memory tokens. Memory is amazing, man. Memory, like, it just lets you play through so many things. It's insane. 1 tokens, link in the description. Get any token you want, any field center you want, any rarity, which is pretty cool. And then let me just go ahead and talk about the other cards I was considering and playing, because it's something that I was like, this should work. Like, if you, as I mentioned, this was not in there. It felt so weird not playing this because it's become like a staple. So yeah, it was odd. But like, you know, like you could put it in if you want. But like, I was really wanting to test the level 1s. Of course, remember the Kaligos. I was playing this engine as well. I was doing some weird testing with this, these guys, and where are you? And this, it was pretty crazy, man. I was out, dude, because these past 2 weeks, I was like, what do I do, man? Because I was getting desperate. I was like, what am I gonna do, man? Like, the format just so weird. And so I was playing this. I was doing this. I was like this. So basically, like, okay, well, that's where the theory stemmed from this, because I was like, oh, well, what do we want to normal summon? Stardust Synchron is pretty good normal summon, but what if we normal summon this guy, right? We summon this, and then we use teleport summon this, go speeder, chain block the Ash, so they have to have the imperm Railer, and then you summon your plants, right? And do little things like that, and then play machine duplication, like, because you can summon these guys out, summon this guy, you summon this, the imperm Railer, okay, it's fine, machine dupe. Get 2 more additional summon. Like, I was just doing some wild things, man. It was just crazy. And then of course this card as well, just a level 3. It was like a 2 in the morning, man. I was awake at 2 in the morning, just going through some crazy stuff. And I was trying out Flirt de Fleur, that, and of course your Punk engine, playing that with teleport. Playing the Reflector engine, playing Iron Call with the machines. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And the machine dip, of course, with the little guys. And then whether I wanted to play hand traps, not play hand traps, play the cross out. Dude, it was wild, man. But then eventually I ended up just going towards this build, and this build did the best out of all the variants that I was trying out. It was just consistent. It did what it needed to do consistently, and I was like, oh, not bad. But it did feel weird not playing walkers. Not gonna lie, it did feel kind of weird. Like, yeah, I kind of did miss this guy. So I don't know, but it's a theory. I'm not sure I'll take this build this Saturday to test it out in real life tournament gameplay, but it's there. You know, it's there. Like, if we lose dice roll, okay, fair enough. But like, yeah, you can just put in Dark Rulers and play it like this. But it seemed fine. But that's gonna be it. Hopefully, enjoy the video. Like, subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching.